Grace and peace, brothers. I ask you to help me spread the word of God by subscribing to the channel and activating the bell, and if you wish to bless me, I ask you to pray for me, because our prayers are very powerful. Let's continue meditating on the book of Job in chapters 26 to 31. Then if God is asking you to reinvent yourself in this time, begins with spirituality, let him enter all areas of life, pray everything, ask God's discernment for everything, but then reread his methods, his processes. At this time when he was living, there was no temple, there was no vestments, those clothes worn in the temple, nor there was liturgy, but it continued to exist in the hearts of the exiles, hunger and thirst for God, an ardent desire for answers, and for direction. Those people who went to the temple, they wanted to have an encounter with God, but rather than watch liturgies. Then Ezekiel needed to realize that now the method was no longer all that exercise of the priestly liturgy, but it was to treat the hearts of his people and bring God's answers into their souls. So his mission was to minister the revealed word of the Lord to the afflicted hearts of the exiled, and a way of living in new world, without losing the essence of your faith, and your commitment to you. And understand our purpose and our mission, we have to broaden the spectrum of your vision, to understand that the mission was much greater than that alone. God begins to work in our life, not only from a spiritual point of view. We reinvent ourselves spiritually because it takes you to all areas of life, but also reinvent yourself professionally. We reinvent yourself familiarly. Wait a second, what is my mission? What is my purpose in this new world? And suddenly, the priest sees himself as the man of God, and he who writes, I the priest Ezekiel, will understand that he is the prophet Ezekiel. From there forward, the exile lasted about 70 years, because people understood his spiritual mission, that it was not simply to fulfill a methodology and a liturgy. In that 70 years, the idolatry that has always been a great problem for Israel and Judah has ceased to be a problem, because over 70 years, Jews actually converted to one God, and pledged themselves to serve him fully with all their heart, and idolatry disappeared from Israel and Judah. Why? Because now priests needed to be prophets, they needed to minister the hearts of the people and not just the liturgy and customs. The reinvention was more effective than all the work before. Hundreds of years Israel and Judah were idolaters. But in 70 years all the people have forgotten idolatry. When I look at this, I see that from this new time we will be challenged not only to rediscover the new paths of faith, but also to rediscover our new ways. And you are being called by God in this strange world that we are living, to rediscover the way of your work. How many of you have to do home office today, and then you have to learn a discipline, a methodology, process, and it's no use crying or complaining, is it? Because maybe a lot of companies imagine that it's not worth keeping a big headquarters, spending a lot of money, and it's going to put a lot of people working in home office. After all this is over, we'll have to reread our roles in our family. We outsource so much, for so long, and now, we can't outsource, but we have to help in the education of the children, we have to help in the house, we have to help in all areas, we have to take care of the emotional of each one. And if we don't learn all this, the family destroys itself. People are succeeding in redoing this rereading, and with the grace of God understood their new role, this new mission, they can live right in the middle of this confusion that we are living. The next part of this video we will continue to meditate on this book. May God continue to bless you, may your day be beautiful and filled with the joy of the Lord.